Good morning, students. Today we are going to discuss the topic placentation in the chapter Morphology of Flowering Plants. But before this, I would like to tell you certain things. For example, I have told you that the pistil, it consists of three things: stigma, style, long stalk-like structure called style, and the swollen basal portion of the pistil is called as ovary. Now, this is also called as carpel. It can be possible that this pistil may be only one present in the gynoecium, or it may be more than one present in the gynoecium or the female reproductive part. If it is present in more than one amount, it can be free. Free means it is not attached as such. See, two are present, not attached with each other. Then it is called as apocarpus. For example, is in lotus as well as rose, you will find that they are not attached with each other, they are free and therefore called as apocarpus. Example is rose and lotus. But in certain cases they are united. For example, in tomato and mustard, they are united, very close to each other and united also. This condition is called as syncarpus, where they are united, fused. So in tomato and mustard, this condition is called as syncarpus, when they are united with each other. Now let us start with placentation. As you know, ovules are present inside the ovary. Now, the arrangement of the ovules inside the ovary is called as placentation. Placentation can be of various kinds, such as marginal placentation, then we have axile placentation, then we have parietal placentation, then we have free central placentation, then we have basal placentation. So placentation are of various kinds. See, I have told you the arrangement of ovules inside the ovary, and you know, I have already told you that these ovules arise from the placenta. This is called as placentation, that is, the arrangement of ovules inside the ovary is called as placentation. Now, you know that the ovules gets converted into seed after fertilization. So, first of all, we will be starting with marginal placentation. Now, let us start with marginal placentation. When the placenta is present on the ventral structure of the ovary, the placentation is called as marginal placentation. Placenta is present on the ventral structure, on the placenta present on the ventral structure of the ovary, the placentation is called as marginal placentation. And all the ovules arise from the placenta which is present on the ventral structure. That is, all the ovules arise from these ridge structure. Then the placentation is called as marginal placentation. The ovules are distributed along the ridge of the ventral structure. Then the placentation is called as marginal placentation. For example, in case of pea plant. Now let us have a diagram. These are the ovules, you can see, distributed. These are present on the ventral structure, and this is in case of pea plant. So this is a marginal placentation. Now let us talk about axile placentation. How the ovules are distributed along the placenta in case of axile placentation. Let us first of all draw a diagram. You see the distribution of ovules inside. This is multilocular. You can see this is multilocular, and ovules are distributed in the central part. This kind of placentation is called as axile placentation, present in tomato and lemon. Tomato and lemon, even China rose also. So this is called as axile placentation. Okay, multilocular, you can see number of chambers inside the ovary. So that is called as multilocular. Now let us talk about parietal placentation. You see in the following diagram, you can see that the ovules are situated on the inner walls and there is no separating septum. So in case of parietal placentation, P-A-R-I-E-T-A-L, it appears that the ovary is having only ovary does not have any septum, and the ovules are either situated outside or inner to the ovary as such, but they do not have any wall. But after some time, false septum appear in the middle, dividing the ovary into two chambers. Now this occurs in argemone. ये बाद में क्या होता है, फॉल्स सेप्टस अपीयर हो जाता है और ये ओवरी को दो हिस्सों में डिवाइड कर देता है सो ये अब एक चैम्बर ना हो के ओवरी डबल चैम्बर्ड ओवरी में कन्वर्ट हो जाता है। ये आर्जीमोन में प्रेजेंट है और इसका एग्जाम्पल है मस्टर्ड पैराइटल प्रेजेंटेशन का, यहाँ होता है ये। सो दिस इज ऑल अबाउट पैराइटल प्रेजेंटेशन। लेट अस नाउ टॉक अबाउट फ्री सेंट्रल प्रेजेंटेशन। In case of free central presentation, you will notice that there is no septum, ovary lies in the, placenta lies in the middle, and the ovules are situated here. You can see there is no septum. So this is a unilocular without any septum, and the ovaries are situated in the central part. These ovules are situated in the central part. So this is an example of central or free central placentation. Examples are dianthus, primrose, so this is about free central placentation. Example is dianthus and primrose. Now let us talk about another kind of placentation which is called as basal placentation, the last part of placentation. Basal placentation. In case of basal placentation, you will notice that the ovules arise from the lowermost part of the ovary. Ovules arise from the lowermost or the basal part of the ovary, and only one in number. Ovule will be only one in number. So example of basal placentas include sunflower, so in this case you will find that only one ovule is situated in the ovary, and that arises from the basal part. So this is all about placentation. Now let us talk about something about fruits. As you know that after the fertilization the ovule changes into seed. At that particular time even the ovary walls get converted into fruit. Now the outer ovary wall has pericarp, and the fruit contains the outer wall which is called as pericarp as well as seeds. There are certain times when fertilization does not occur, and even then the fruit formation occurs. This is called as parthenocarpic fruit, or the process is called as parthenocarpy, where actually the fertilization has not taken place but fruit formation has taken place, which does not contain seeds. Now in general, where the fertilization takes place, the pericarp or the outer wall of the fruit is again divided into thin epicarp, which is the outermost wall, mesocarp, which is the next layer, the layer beneath the epicarp, and the endocarp. In case of mango and coconut, if you will see that mango and coconut, both, in case of both, the number of seeds present in the fruit is only one, and these arise from monocarpillary superior ovaries. Monocarpellary and superior ovary. Also called as drupe. These are both of these are examples of drupe. Now in case of mango, the mesocarp is the part which is eatable as such, but the same part in case of coconut, it is fibrous. Let us now talk about seed. As you know, we have already finished the part of fruit. We have already discussed about the fruit which is given in NCERT. Now we will be discussing about seeds. As you know, the seeds are actually the ovules gets converted into seed. The seed contain outer testa and inner tegument, that is the seed coat. Testa and tegument. Testa and tegument. These are the outer seed coats as such. Testa, mainly the testa, which is the outermost seed coat, and it contains embryo. Embryo consists of cotyledons as well as embryonic axis. Beside that, it contains plumule and radicle. Plumule and radicle. Now, apart from that, the seed also sometimes contain endosperm. Where the endosperm is present, it is called to be albuminous seed or endospermous seed. For example, wheat and rice. Where the endosperm is not present, it is said to be ex-albuminous or non-endospermous seed. For example, in case of pea plant. So this is all about the topic which I had to discuss today. Thank you and have a very nice day.